Hello, my name is Ted Henry. I'm the winemaker at Clos du Val winery in Napa Valley, California. And I wanted to shoot a small video to say hello to the people in Japan. I hope everyone is doing well, and I know it's a hard time for all of us around the world. No different here in wine country in Napa Valley. It's difficult to run the winery and have very few people here to get a chance to try the wines. So I wanted to present some of the wines to you today that have recently been shipped to Japan. So these are vintages of newer wines, and they represent what is the latest that's happening here at the winery in Stag's Leap district of Napa Valley. So I'm going to start with our Chardonnay. This is 2018 Carneros Napa Valley Chardonnay, and this wine is really our core white wine. So it's the white grape that is most important to us here at Clos du Val is the Chardonnay grape. And for me, it's a very fun grape for a winemaker because the grape itself is like an artist's blank canvas. You can do anything with it to change what you want the final wine to be. Some grapes like Sauvignon Blanc or Riesling have a very distinctive character, a very unique flavor to it. Chardonnay is very neutral, very plain, but when you add oak or you add lees to the aging process, or many different things that you can do to the grape and wine to get a certain flavor. So for this, 100% of this Chardonnay is put into barrel, and it's fermented in the barrel. So juice goes into the barrel, it's slowly fermented, what we call on the lees. So the yeast is in suspension, kind of in the bottom of the barrel, and we stir that up to add creaminess and texture and weight to the wine. So the Chardonnay is a little bit more of a kind of a serious white wine. It has more viscosity or mouthfeel. But the style that I do, like I said, it could be in any style. My style is more with a light touch of oak. So only 30% of the oak barrels are new, 70% are older barrels. So you only get so much oak flavor, which helps show more of the flavor of the grape through instead of just the oak component. So the oak lifts up the fruit, adds to the mouthfeel of the wine, and then aging it on the lees gives you that creaminess and richness to the wine. So you really smell, fresh, bright lemon and some kind of yeasty notes, bread notes. Really pretty wine. Very good with fish, very good wine. Moving on to reds. One that's very unique in California is the Zinfandel grape. So this is 2018 Zinfandel, and our Zinfandel is, it's not a native grape to California, but it's been grown here for many years, many decades. And it's something that California has been sort of credited with as a grape that is mostly now grown in this area. It's a little bit more of like a spicy kind of red wine. This one has a lot of black pepper, so fresh black pepper and some juicy red berries. Really great combination of those things. It's a tough wine to make. The Zinfandel grape, the cluster, has a very hard time ripening, so you don't get a lot of ripe grapes throughout the whole cluster. You have a mix of ripe grapes and unripe grapes, and so it takes a lot of work in the vineyard to get the right flavor in the grape. So this is a difficult wine to make, but it has a very distinctive, satisfying flavor profile that's very unique to Zinfandel. Really fresh, really bright. Good like plum, jam. Zinfandel, very nice wine on its own, as well as food. I use more grilled foods with Zinfandel, but very diverse, the type of foods that would work with. Also very nice on its own. Next, we will move to the Cabernet Sauvignon 2017. So Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon 2017 vintage. This is a staple, a very common wine in Napa because this is where Cabernet grows very well in California. It's just the right amount of cool temperatures at night and warm temperatures during the day, which gives you the best opportunity to get the grapes ripe at the end of the season. So this is why Cabernet Sauvignon does not maybe grow as well or make great wines in areas that are too warm at night. So that's a key part of it. This Napa Valley Cabernet, classic like cassis, we say, very like bay leaf. There's a little bit of herb in there, and then a lot of red fruit, and then dark black, dark chocolate, and blackberry, black cherry flavor. This wine sees a little bit more tannin. It's blended, so it's going to have some Merlot in there to round it out, but it doesn't come across as overly tannic, but it has more tannin and grip than Zinfandel. So a little bit more serious wine, good with a lot of food as well, maybe more serious meat dish or tomato sauce, something like that. Very classic Napa Valley Cabernet. So now, this is Herondale Vineyard Cabernet Sauvignon. So this is a very special wine. This is a reserve wine. It is a single vineyard, meaning all of the grapes that went into this wine were grown on one vineyard right here in Stag's Leap, outside of where the winery is, where I'm sitting right now. And this is a very special vineyard that was named for the Herondale, which is the French word for swallow, the bird, the swallow. We have swallows that come to the winery every year, and they don't go to any other winery except Clos du Val. They don't go to the wineries next to us, near us, only Clos du Val. And for 40 years, the swallows come back every spring, and they only eat the insects, bugs in the vineyard. So the vineyard bugs are the source of the food for the birds. They build nests on the winery, and then they hatch eggs in the nest, and then the birds go to the vineyard and get bugs, bring them to the babies. And they do this every year. And part of the process, they make kind of a mess around the winery. But for many years of thinking we need to get rid of these birds because they make a mess, we realized that they're part of our ecosystem and the terroir, we say, of what makes this vineyard special. So a few years ago, we decided to embrace the swallow or the Herondale and use the French word to name this Herondale Vineyard. So Herondale Vineyard is really the very top Cabernet Sauvignon, the very top reserve of the best barrels that we have in the cellar. So I'll bring in the selection of certain clones, certain types of Cabernet Sauvignon that come into the winery. And then when they're here, I'll taste through every barrel and pick the very few top barrels that are the best wine, most intense, deep color. This is much darker, very intense, very much an aging wine. So this is a wine that you can drink now, but will age for many, many years and keep improving. Very rich, very dense texture. Yeah, very long finish, very intense finish with tannin that is very structurally there, but it's soft and velvet and round. Beautiful with just, I think any sort of food that has enough heft to stand up to a wine with a level of tannin that it's not over the top, but it's firm tannin, but it sort of melts in your mouth and coats your tongue with this beautiful, fresh, soft, and almost velvety texture. So this wine is a special occasion wine for most. It's really, really beautiful. And like I said, something to age. So hopefully, I had planned to be in Japan this next month, but it looks as if due to the current circumstances, that won't happen. But hopefully I will have a chance to come very soon and share some of these wines in person. And I hope until then, you have a chance to try some Clos du Val that you maybe haven't had. And for those of you that have already enjoyed Clos du Val, thank you for supporting the winery, and cheers from Napa Valley. Thank you.